Hi guys, I'm here at the Night and Day Cafe in Manchester with the one and only Mr. Charlie Worsham. It's good to see you, Charlie.
It's good to see you. It's good to be in Manchester.
It's great to finally meet you. I've wanted to speak to you for ages.
Well, I'm glad we're getting to do this.
We didn't catch you at C2C, which is a shame, but...
Well, it's not the only time, nor is this the only time I'll be visiting. I
Awesome.
plan on coming back a lot.
Yeah.
So.
And you're touring with Kenny Rogers at the moment, aren't you?
Yeah.
So you were in Glasgow last night, so tell us all about that experience.
Yeah, Glasgow was our first show together, and you know, the moment it really hit me was sitting out in the audience and hearing song after song, just iconic, legendary, song of the year kind of stuff. You know, literally, I know The Gambler was a song of the year, and he's a master, and so it's going to be a lot of fun to get to introduce myself to his fans and to get to watch and learn from him every night and enjoy the show.
How do the fans for the Kenny Rogers shows react to your music? Because it's a slightly different generation, I would imagine.
Well, you know, they were great. They were great, and each city, you know, one thing I love about touring in the UK and Europe is each city has its own personality. You know, and Glasgow wants you to prove that you're really good to them. So I could feel over the course of my show that I was steadily winning them over. And I sang a song called I Belong to Glasgow. That's a famous old song. I want to say it's, I'm not going to remember the name properly, but a famous Glaswegian about being drunk, and it went over very well.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
And you came over earlier this year for C2C, as I mentioned. So what did you make of that whole experience? That must have been amazing to play in front of so many people there.
It was grand. It really was. And the CMA Songwriter series show that we did, that was my first time to perform over here. And I was amazed at the respect the crowd showed during our performances. I've come to sort of, that's a normal thing here, which is kind of crazy. But even watching, you know, the bartenders would stop serving while you sang, and it was just a very meaningful thing, you know. And the whole festival was great. So I look forward to being back.
Tell us about that Songwriters Night, because that must have been so gratifying as a songwriter to be on stage with so many amazing people.
Yes, well, you know, not just amazing, but some of my favorite people. And there are a lot of greats to pick from back home and everything. But I love Shane McAnally, and we've written some together. And Ashley Monroe is just one of my favorite human beings, period.
She's awesome. Not
to mention her writing, not to mention her voice, you know. But she's just such a kind spirit and presence. And Lori McKenna is the same way, you know. Gosh, Lori sang Humble and Kind, and at the time the song was beginning to get heard and it was on its way up, but it had not become what it is now. And I remember the crowd sang it back to her, and she was in tears, as we all were, you know, because it just was this thing, you could feel it. It was really truly electric. And then Charles Esten, I had never even met him before, but boy, he was fun, and I sat right next to him in the round too, so it was really fun. Every personality, you know, songwriter rounds are usually a lot of fun, but not always. You know, sometimes there's not a great chemistry, and you struggle to get the momentum to build. But that night, I mean, it just felt like we were floating on the stage.
Yeah. So tell us about what you're up to in the UK, because I know you've got some GoPro cameras with you. You just put it on Twitter the other day. So.
Oh yeah, well I've got GoPro fever right now, but. No, I just, you know, I love the history and the culture here, so when I'm not on stage, I'm trying to find cool local pubs and restaurants, or go run through whatever park, or see a historic site, and I'm running out of space on my phone, and those GoPros are just so handy for shooting on the fly, and I just want to document this, because this is a time in my life that, you know, I guess it's true of all the chapters of your life, but I really strongly feel that this is something I'll only get to do once, you know, and I'll only be in this time once. So I want to capture that so that I can share it years from now, and that I can remember it, you know. If I get a little foggy in my brain later on in my life, you know, I can hopefully go, oh, that's me, that's cool, you know.
So tell us about what we can expect from the show tonight, because it's quite an intimate venue, so are you going to just let loose on some new material? And
pretty much, yeah. Well, you know, I'm going to play songs off of Rubber Band, off my debut record, and because that's the only record that's out, and I don't want to just force people to hear all songs they've never heard before. Although I sang a song of mine called Lawn Chair Don't Care back at C2C, and without it ever even really being released, some people have learned the words.
It's a real fan favourite at CCC.
Oh man, I mean, it was a favorite moment for me. Like, I've never experienced that before with a song, and then I'll play some covers and just some fun stuff. And Frankie Davies is out with us, and we've written together, so we'll do something together as well.
Awesome. Now I have to ask you about the shows you did at Tubbs Music Store in Nashville not too long ago, because that looked amazing on social media. Bringing out Eric Church, I mean, come on, that's huge.
The best thing about that, I love that place. It's got so much history, a history that rivals any of the landmarks in Nashville, and it's where I bought my first record. When it came out, I went there to buy it, and so the whole idea for those nights was purely driven by a love of this place and a love of music. And it blew me away that Eric and Hunter Hayes and Kid Rock showed up, and Brandy Clark was there, my friends, the brothers Osborne. So many people came through. I mean, Vince Gill was there. He's in the freaking Hall of Fame. Legend. And he had gotten up that morning at like 5 to go to New York and come back. So he had flown twice that day, and he still made it out. But to me, those nights are a testament to, when you put the music first, you get the best out of people,
And it's been nearly 3 years, well, just over 3 years since Rubber Band came out, hasn't it? So have you been writing constantly since Rubber Band came out, looking forward to this new project?
Yes, I have, and we're at a point now where the record is pretty much done, musically speaking, it's done, and we're starting that phase where you're planning how you're going to launch it, and you're picking out photographs and doing all of that. And it's been really fun because it's been a while since I've been in this part of the process, and so I'm excited. I'm excited to share this new record with folks and get it out into the world. Is
this new record going to be a progression of you as an artist, or is it going to be more of the familiar Charlie Worsham style that we've come to know?
It'll be a familiar progression. Okay. There's certain chords you play that you can almost guess with your ear what chord's coming next. It'll kind of be like that, But there is an evolution that's occurred, but it's not, the core ingredients of the recipe didn't change. It was more of an attitude, I think, that changed. When you're making a first record, and this is especially true for me, it's a different planet you kind of land on. Like all of a sudden I had a record deal. All of a sudden I'm working with one of my friends, but now he's my producer, and I'm co-producing this with him. And so there was a lot of, figuring out as I went, and it kind of ended up as part of the magic of that record, but you only make one first record. And so this is not a second. Well, it's funny, in some ways it is a second first record, but it's not apologizing for the first record. It's just this record has a little more stubble on it, and literally, and I don't know. I just grew up a little bit. Records are pictures of a person at a time in their life, and so that's what this is.
When can we expect the record to be out? Can you tell us a little bit?
I'll say in the first half of next year would be a good time to expect it.
Awesome. We look forward to that. And just before we finish, tell us about your Follow Your Heart scholarship, because I know that means a lot to you.
Yeah, so I got this tattoo here, and it's copied from an autograph from Marty Stewart, who's a hero of mine, and he is from my home state of Mississippi. My hometown gave me a key to the city last year, and it kind of threw me for a loop. I was not expecting that. I thought maybe someday I got a bunch of hit songs or something. That's something that happens then. But they were just really proud of me, and thinking about my journey to where I am now. My hometown community is a big part of that. They've always supported me. Even when I was just a little kid with the banjo and I needed a handful of people to play in front of, they always helped me. So I started getting creative with friends and with family back home on how we could do something that would be fun, that would give kids in Grenada, Mississippi today some of those same opportunities that I had. And so we're doing a big gala just before Christmas, and we're going to raise some money, and we're going to give a scholarship to a young man or woman from Grenada who wishes to pursue a career in the arts.
That's awesome. Well, best of luck with that, and best of luck with the rest of the UK tour.
Thank you so much.
It's been awesome to speak to you, and
Likewise.
thank you for your time.
Cheers.
Signing out from the Night and Day Cafe.